for those of us that have investments in substantial funds in Russia managed by Americans, investing primarily in the Russian public market, what dangers, if any, do you see of blockage or confiscation of those funds if the West takes strong retaliatory powers against them?
I think with what's going on right now, it is not. It is not impossible to rule out scenarios which we 2 weeks ago think being impossible. And I think expropriation of American companies' assets is completely on the table. And I think well, you have pretty much all major American companies having some assets on the ground. Alcoa has 2 plants. Exxon has invested a lot. Caterpillar invested a lot. Boeing doesn't have production capacity, but has R&D units. You have quite a few R&D units of Silicon Valley firms as well. This, of course, makes no sense to expropriate still. But some production facilities are there, and I wouldn't rule out the scenario where these assets will be expropriated. Moreover, very high-ranking Russian officials last week actually said, we will respond to sanctions in this particular way.
Yes, right over here.
One policy that has been absent from the discussion is the effect of the tapering of monetary stimulus in the U.S. on both the economy
I'm sorry, can you repeat what you said?
So one policy that hasn't been discussed is the effect of the tapering of the monetary stimulus in the U.S. And I was wondering if you could comment both on the economic and political repercussions.
Russian stock market benefited from loose monetary policy, like any other emerging market. But there is what economists would call difference in different. So on top of normal kind of emerging markets, effects of monetary policy changes in the US, there is a Russian component, which is investors are more worried not only about monetary policy in the US, but also things like isolation and expropriation. And in that sense, it's not surprising that if you look at performance of stock markets from, say, January 1st to date, you will see that Russian market lost a quarter since January 1st, and other emerging markets lost, whatever, 8%. Everybody's worried, but quantitatively, there are many other things which investors should be worried about.
I see all over the world that the communication and information revolution has changed the problem of governance. So people can know what's going on. They protest, they organize. It's not just in the Middle East. And at least as far as I can see in the Ukraine, what happened was the people were moving west, and Mr. Putin didn't like it, and he intervened in some ways in a corrupt way as far as the leader was concerned. People know it right away, and they protested. And that set off this set of events. So my question is, and you can see that when some girls sing songs of protest, he feels he has to arrest them. So you ask yourself, how restive are the people in Russia? And to what degree is there some likelihood that you may see protests emerge there, as there were early in Mr. Putin's re-election campaign?
Thanks. There are many aspects to your question. I will start with the quantitative economic research on Moldova, which some economists have done. Moldova is an interesting country where a lot of people migrate and send remittances back and also come back home. And Moldova is divided in the sense that there are some people migrate west and some people migrate east. And people who migrate west actually learn about value of democracy and possibility to live without corruption, come back and vote for liberal parties. And this research actually shows that these people who migrated west, rather than those who migrated east, were critical to bringing down communist party, which still was in power in 2009, 2010.